This episode is brought to you by HP Plus. In a world full of smart devices, isn't it about time your printer got smart too? Now printing is smart with HP Plus, and the HP Smart app is how it all happens. You can print from your phone with just a tap, no matter where you are, even from your garage/home office/yoga studio. Huh, that is smart. HP Plus. Learn more about smart printing at hp.com/smart.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael A. Collins II, and with me as always is
Matthew. I changed my middle name to that, so...
Oh, okay.
Not sure how you can pronounce it, but that's what it is.
It's Matthew Haas.
Pretty much, so...
Okay. Do I have to say that every time I talk to you now? Or can I just call you Matt?
Only if you say my middle name. If you don't, then you don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Although I guess I could change my first name to... Not sure how you can pronounce that, but...
Is that close enough?
It's decent.
I mean, my accent's a little weird when I say it, but, you know.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty close.
Oh, okay. So, I think, so I have an idea. Okay, so I saw this online, and I don't remember where, but, okay, you know how, like, most people named Matthew go by Matt?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just call you Thew.
Get the Thew.
Just take the last part of your name.
Yeah, there you go. How you doing, Thew? This is my bro, Thew, man.
Yes. It's kind of like Topher Grace goes by, his real name is Christopher, but he goes by Topher. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, I had no idea his name was Christopher.
Yeah,
okay.
his name's Christopher, and he just didn't want to be called Chris, so he went by Topher. Yeah.
It does sound better than Chris Grace. That's not really a unique name.
Yeah.
And when you're in Hollywood, you got to have a name that really,
pops.
shines, pops. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
man.
I could go by instead of Mike, and I can take Michael and be Kel.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'll be Kel.
Kel, man, Michael, man.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah, no. Anyway, so today on the show we are covering episode 9 of season 6 of DC's Legends of Tomorrow. This episode was entitled "This Is Gus." This is Gus.
Get it? Get it?
Yes. It was directed by Eric Dean Seaton, written by Tyrone B. Carter, and originally aired on July 11th, 2021. So, what's happening here in this episode, Matt? Well, first off, I'm going to ask you, Matt, what did you think of the episode?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Kind of had its own little Legends kind of thing going on,
Yeah.
humor, kind of a family story, kind of about home, about family, what is family, what is home, that whole deal that they've been doing for a while now.
Yeah.
It's
good.
It's not groundbreaking TV, but it's fun. It knows what it is. It's not trying to be anything different than what it is.
Yeah, it was an interesting episode. I liked it. I mean, it wasn't one of my favorites, but it was good. So, what happened here in this episode, Matt?
Kind of picks up from the last episode when Bayard gives Nate the totem that he can use sometimes to hang out with his Zari from his timeline.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I'm not sure why he never offered it beforehand, but hey, whatever. That must have been a writing issue right there. Because, like, oh, I never knew how much you missed her. It's like he's literally mentioned it every single episode since the first episode.
Maybe they didn't realize they could do it or something. That's what I'm wondering.
Maybe, yeah.
Plus plus it had been split in two. So you had to combine the two for it to work. So he had to get Zari's as well. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. So yeah, he had to. So that kind of became an issue because they were looking for, you know, he forgot. Oh yeah, I let Nate. You know, so they're like sitting there like worried about like, well, you know, if we summon Nate right now, you know, what's he going to be doing? You know, right when we summon him, type of thing. You know, worried that they're basically boning. You know,
yeah.
And which turns out Nate in this bathrobe and eating cereal, so it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, that's fine.
Yeah.
And,
so my thing is she has bathrobes and cereal and stuff inside this little world she lives in. I'm confused. Okay, anyways.
No, wait a minute. Yeah, she can't play video games in there, but yet they got cereal and bathrobes. That's interesting. Maybe there's a way to get video games in there from the outside.
Yeah.
You can almost start doing like squirreling away things for Zari to use in there. Like, all right, look, we're going to bring in the Sega, Sega, really? We're going to bring in the Xbox or PlayStation. Well, no, she does like classic video games, so I guess the Sega Genesis would be appropriate for her.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, then we'll bring, like, you know, the Fabricator or a different That's the other thing right there. So, can the Fabricator make another Fabricator? That would be interesting.
Whoa.
I know, I never thought about that before, but think about it.
And then you get to the point where you make another Fabricator. Can the Fabricator that makes the Fabricator make another Fabricator?
Exactly.
But then
so you get that Fabricator to start making Fabricators, and then the third one and the fourth one, but also the original one is also making more. So you got like millions of Fabricators.
But my thing is like if you make a copy of a copy of a copy, it's kind of like when you Xerox a piece of paper that's got writing on it and stuff. Eventually, it degrades to the point where you can't read it anymore.
No, but the Fabricator is perfect, so it won't.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
So Nate shows up in his bathrobe and eating cereal, and they're like, "Oh, good, we dodged a bullet because we really did not want to see them like having sex or whatever, because that would be kind of creepy." And because especially too if you're watching your other self do it, which is again kind of like a whole Sylvie and Loki thing going on a little bit.
Yeah.
Although if you had a twin, I guess it would be similar, but still at the same time, you don't want to see your twin having sex, whatever. Anyway, so
that's a discussion for a completely different podcast.
It is, yes.
It's like all too porn or something. I don't know what.
Yes, well, according to like what you said, you know, Disney is promoting incest because of Loki.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so I guess Legends of Tomorrow is apparently doing the same. No, and but they go to do like their roundtable discussion where they're going to talk about like, you know, their next mission or whatever, and Bayard, you know, shows up and he's kind of like, you know, really, you know, I mean, he's always in like a happy mood, but he's like extra jubilant today. You know, he's like talking about smoking weed, you know, different kinds of weed, you know, stuff like that, and they're all like, oh, okay, whatever, and they end up having to go to like this like TV set or whatever, and he you know, he's like lighting up a doobie or whatever as he does, and he ends up seeing like this guy in a car, and he kind of looks at the dude, and he's like, guy kind of looks at him back, and he's like, oh, he recognizes the dude, and he's like, oh, you guys didn't tell me that you did a surprise birthday party for me to watch the shooting of some kind of like some weed smoking TV show sitcom
called Bud Stuy.
It's right, Bud Stuy, and it's kind of like a show that he used to watch a lot when he was like a teenager. Like he'd get high on the weekends and he'd watch.
It's in 2023, Vancouver, British Columbia is where it's being filmed, which is interesting because Vancouver is where Legends films.
Yeah, exactly. Where a lot of those shows film. And,
like most of the CW shows.
Yeah. So, like, they kind of go along, like, Astra and them kind of go along with it. Like, oh, yeah, we totally did that, we did not forget your birthday at all, type of thing, as you do, as these kind of episodes go. By the way, so if you ever listen to our episode of The Little Mermaid Island,
yeah,
the pilot. By the way, if the pilot, yeah. By the way, if you're listening to an episode that like is just like a complete piece of shit, it's usually the one I suggest. So take that as either that's a compliment to me or an insult to me. I don't know, but I'm just letting you know that's usually what it is. And that was one of the ones I picked, of course. And we had that whole episode's about how Sebastian the Crab. It's the opposite though. So in that episode, everyone makes him think that they forgot his birthday, so that they can give him a surprise party afterwards. Which to me, as I mentioned in that episode, is really cruel. Because why would you want any loved one in your life to think that you forgot their birthday?
Yeah,
for like the entire day, just so that you can spring a surprise party that's going to last an hour, 2 hours tops. And then you're awake for 16, 17 hours of a day. So for 15 hours of your entire day, you're thinking that your best friends and all of your family and loved ones totally forgot your birthday. Not only that, not only did they act like they forgot the birthday, they're actually acting particularly cold towards you on that day, more so than they would any other day of the year. So it makes you feel even worse. Like, oh, not only did they forget my birthday, they're actively acting like I'm just in their way. Like, okay, so Ariel doesn't have time to wish your friend. I know. So it's a redo of that episode.
Yeah,
hold on.
If you want to know the details, go ahead and listen to our episode because it's great.
Just let me finish that thought.
Yeah.
So Ariel doesn't have time to wish your friend a happy birthday, let alone make him a gift. But you know what? She does have the time to write and sing a song about how she doesn't have time to can't spend time with him that day. Just time for that. Writing song, of course, because we all know that writing a song's really quick, right?
Yeah, I mean,
anyway.
You write them for me all the time just to tell me that you're going to be a few minutes late to record the podcast.
Yeah,
wait.
Well, for me, writing a song is just as easy as throwing some Skittles into a pile of M&Ms. Ooh, that's a crossover joke. And Anyway, so in this show, though, they actually did forget his birthday. Yeah, it's not a ruse, it's not a joke, but they think they struck gold because he likes this show, so we'll go and watch the taping of it's kind of like a revival of the show, I guess, because the show only did 2 seasons in the past. And
well, no, this was when they were being filmed, because he's from the future.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
So he watched him as a teenager, which would have been after the show went off the air. So it was like he was watching reruns of it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's right. And of course, so we find out that it's really because of the alien, because all the aliens have been dispersed throughout time, and this really cute little alien falls down, crashes down, this little pink kind of alien dude,
kind of a Baby Yoda wannabe.
Pretty much is what they're going for. A very bad or very not as good version as Grogu it was.
Yes.
Yes, his name is Grogu. Get over it. And
by the way, that brings up something really cute. So my great niece, I have a T-shirt with Grogu on it, and I was a few days ago I wore it, and I kept pointing out, I said his name is Grogu, and then she would repeat it. She's like Grogu, Grogu. And then, so I wore the shirt again when I babysat her the other day. And she pointed to the shirt and she's like, Grogu. Grogu.
Yep.
She totally remembers it. So,
yep.
I think that's cute. She can say Grogu.
Yeah, teach them when they're young, yeah.
Yep.
You can teach them a whole foreign language if you wanted to when they're really young. And then, instead of me when you're trying to learn in your fucking late 30s and you're this is gonna take me like 10 years to learn this, but whatever. Turkish will have to wait apparently before I can actually learn it. But
it's a Turkish delight on a moonlit night.
Yeah, Turkish delight, which I'm not a huge fan of that candy, but don't get me wrong, they're okay. They're not terrible, but I'm not like I don't hate it, but it's not my first choice.
It's okay. Anyway, you don't have to like everything.
No, of course, exactly. You don't have to like everything. So this little alien, by the way, his name is, well, we find out that his species is called like goose something. His
name is Gusarax.
It's like Gusarax, and it's he bonds with the actor's brother, who's like kind of runs the show of Budstein.
Yeah, he's like the director and producer of the show.
Yeah, and like, so this is probably like taking place in like the second season, because like they're like the jokes are kind of falling flat on people, and he's worried like they're gonna get canceled or whatever, because that's what actually happened in the real story timeline.
And there's like and the seats are kind of empty in the audience, which probably is because of COVID in our real world, but during
exactly. It could have what happened. Yeah, it could have been what happened actually. And so he kind of sees this as like a godsend, like literally, in a sense, like like he thinks it's like a prop at first or something, or his brother does, and so he gets the idea that he wants to like incorporate this into the show now, and kind of make basically like the whole Urkel effect, Urkelmania, or any other kind of show where one character becomes like the whole show type of thing.
Or your show's starting to lag in ratings, so you bring in a cute kid or something,
Yeah, and so that's what he's trying to do.
Like my family did when I was 3, because I started getting ugly, and then they just needed to bring my sister into the situation. Wow. Wait, what?
Wow.
I'm joking.
Wow. That got really dark.
I wasn't as cute anymore, so they needed to bring in a little girl to replace me.
I thought I was having like a bad day today. And then it kind of reminds me too. Did you watch really That Thing You Do? Wow, no. Did you watch I Think You Should Leave yet? Season 2?
No, I have not. I watched a little bit of the first episode. I watched the first episode, but that's all I've watched.
Okay, so did you see that scene with the Carl Havoc, the prank show one?
Yeah.
That one, I can't stop laughing at. He's like, I don't want to be around anymore. Like, wait, what? I don't want to be around anymore. Like, you don't want to live? Why? Because you're wearing that suit? Yeah. Like, okay, I guess we can scrap it. What's the show then? He's like, God damn it. That's such a great. By the way, check that if you guys want to check that out. I think there's a really stupid scene at the end of episode 1 that was just totally disgusting and did not even need to be in there. But
yeah,
again, that's the SNL effect. They always take it too far, and he used to write for SNL, so I guess it kind of just has a carryover effect. But yeah, they always take things. Wait, just that little smidgen too far, where it's like, it would have been funny, and then you went
check
too
out
far.
Check out I Think You Should Leave, featuring in at least one of the episodes, my Facebook friend Shantae Dallin, former star of Detroiters with Tim Robinson. So,
what episode is that? Or
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what she's in. I don't know. I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, but she's in it. She's in the first season too in one of the episodes. So
okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, that was a good show. I like Detroiters. That was a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that got canceled after 2 seasons as well.
Yeah, there's talks of a revival, which is I'm really hoping happens. So, and if that does, we may cover it for the show. Anyways, so
Oats but goats. Anyway,
so back to Legends here.
Sure.
We've got so we've got this little creature they're calling Gus. Little pink baby Yoda wannabe, and they opt to incorporate the alien into the show, which ends up leading the lead man, Imran. He ends up quitting the show because he's basically upset at the direction that they're taking the show. And it's no longer about just buds hanging out, getting high, you know? Which is the greatest idea for a sitcom ever.
Of course. I mean, how could you get sick of that? Just two guys smoking blunts together. Wait, and the people who are watching the show are also two guys smoking blunts together. How could that go wrong, right?
Well, I don't know. They did make 3 Harold and Kumar movies.
God. Yeah, that's true.
To diminishing returns, but the first one was hilarious. So, anyways,
yeah, the first one was pretty good. Hey, NPH wouldn't do that, okay?
No.
I think, unironically, I think that movie is what actually resurrected Neil Patrick Harris' career.
It is completely, and he admits to it.
Yeah, so that's so fucked up. And then How I Met Him came out a year later.
Yeah, that led to him getting How I Met Your Mother, basically, in a way, so yeah.
Yeah, so, and that went on for like 10 years, and then...
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yep.
We'd just be thinking of him as Doogie Howser if it weren't for that fact.
Exactly, I don't think of him that anymore.
No.
I think of him as Barney and a bunch of other cool shit.
But by the way, Doogie Howser was an amazing show. Anyway, so yes,
good.
I have the whole show on DVD and I love it.
Awesome.
So, anyways, so Imran ends up quitting the show later on, which ends up causing, because the show ends up not being on TV because of it, it ends up being on, but a different show. So it ends up having a ripple effect that erases Bayrod's memories of his time with the legend, and both about the totems and everything, and transforms him into like a Gordon Gekko cold businessman sort of wannabe, you know?
Yeah, like it was like a slow progress, because he first cut his hair a little bit first, and of course Astra starts like liking him now because he's ambitious all of a sudden, because before that she kind of had like a prejudice against weed smokers, like, they lack ambition and blah blah blah, type of thing. She had to work her way up through hell. That's a lot of ambition for a little girl.
Yeah. And
so of course she doesn't have time to smoke weed and just hang out or whatever. She's always got to be plotting something.
Yes.
There's no time to smoke out for that. And then so she kind of like is starting to flirt with him a little bit, like, oh, didn't know you had it in you, stuff like that. And it's like, okay, chill out, because we all know this is going to become resolved by the end of the episode. So, just don't worry about it. But yeah, he starts wearing like a suit, and then he's talking about like dividends and merchandise, and all this kind of stuff. Like synergy, the word synergy comes up,
Integration, synergy, and all those big words, man.
Big business words, man. And yeah.
So, do you want to take a break and come back with the rest of the plot here? Because we got a little bit of a B story to go through too as well when we come back.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty, and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
And we are back. So, the Legends are trying to figure out a way to solve things, and they have Zari audition for the show to be the nosy landlord.
Right.
Which she doesn't get that role, and Nate ends up getting the role.
Of course, Nate, Mr.
Yeah.
Pretty boy and chiseled jaw.
They even talk about that at one time. They're like, yeah, just what TV needs, another attractive white guy.
No, it's like a win for a straight white guy.
Yeah, something like that.
Like they finally did it, or whatever, like something like that.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So Nate starts to bond with little Gus. While that's going on, but while that's going on, they basically have a B plot going on the ship, where Mick finds out that the 2023 version of Lita, his daughter, is pregnant, and so he goes off, and she comes onto the ship, and he finds out she's pregnant, and he goes off to kill her boyfriend named Nico. He doesn't kill him. Yeah. He ends up calming down when he realizes that Lita and Nico will be loving parents, and doesn't kill Nico. But with that going on, we go back to the Bud Stuy set, and the show is getting bigger and bigger because of the alien and whatnot, and Zari and Astra get Imran and Cameron, the two brothers that are part of the show, to reconcile, while Gus ends up bonding with Nate. So that ends up helping restore the timeline. So Bayrod actually recognizes everybody again and stuff. Because at that point, he wasn't even recognizing Astra and other people. He only recognized Zari because it's his sister.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. All the furniture changing and stuff like that, and
yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
They end up trapping him on the ship too, because
yeah, that's right, to prevent him from screwing up the timeline even further.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, too, I forgot to mention. So the reason why Nate was trying to bond with the alien is because I guess it's defense mechanism is really high screeching screams, and
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's the baby version, right? So an adult one could probably kill you from screaming too loudly. So, but it would do it every time you would try to pick it up or whatever, type of thing. And so they had to get bonded to them, to prevent, that from happening, and plus too to kind of get the show to get back to its track or whatever.
So So Imran was on what do you call it? Like a golf cart on the set that he ends up crashing into around the studio, and he ends up crashing into the set in the middle of the episode to interrupt things and become part of the show again and pack things up. And Nate goes off script and basically says that he's there to take the alien away, which he does, and then that's how he ends up bonding with the alien. So the alien gets written out of the show, and the show goes back to being about two dudes hanging out or whatever, we assume. Because then Behrad is back to normal. So things are back to normal. They get the alien onto the ship. And like we said, Mick did not kill Nico, which was good. So afterwards, when they get back on the ship, the legends celebrate Behrad's birthday with a birthday party, and Zari ends up trading places with Zari Tomez. So Zari OG can hang out with the legends for a few days. They realize now that they can do that, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a convenient
plot point. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh wait, you could have done this the whole time. As long as one of you are in the totem, then it's fine. So I guess I think they're gonna split it in half now. So that's cool because now we might get original Zari in like half the episodes, or
which will be cool because I liked original Zari. I like new Zari too, but
Yeah, no, she's grown on me definitely. Different personalities, obviously, but why do they have different last names? Is their parents different or something? Or because doesn't she go by Zari different
Zari
last name?
Tarazi, but I think Tomez might be her middle name.
Oh, okay.
That might be why they call her that. I don't know, because I thought she was Tarazi the whole time, but I don't know. It's
okay.
Have to look that up. I'll look that up.
Probably because that's
I'll look that up on Drake. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It pops, Zari Tarazi. It's good for branding, that type of thing.
But anyways, at the very end, then Gary the whole time was basically pissed off at Mick because he found out Mick had sex with Kayla. At least we thought he was pissed off, but then we end up finding out that he was basically worried, and he says, were there tentacles involved in the sex? And at the very end, Mick's about to drink a beer, and Gary knocks it out of his hand and reveals to Mick that Kayla laid eggs in Mick's ears, so Mick is now pregnant. Like his daughter.
Right.
And that's how we end the episode.
Yeah, he looks so worried. He's like, I just like that too, where it's like, it was mind blowing. It's like, well, kind of.
Yep. Wow. So.
Wow.
Anyway, so that's what we got going on there. Anything I missed here, Matt?
No, I think that pretty much covers all the bases. Dang.
Okay. Do you want to take a break then, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some trivia and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back, folks.
Need a new podcast to listen to? Well, why not check out the Super Podcast from the Super Network at supermarcy.com, where we discuss films and pop culture, and we do monthly fan-voted commentaries. We are available on all major podcasting platforms.
And we are back. So, with the Zari having a different last name, in Season 5 of Legends of Tomorrow, Zari's family name changed from Tomaz to Tarazi to show just how much things had changed because of the Hayworld incident in the Season 4 finale. So, basically, while things totally changed where her last name even changed. There's no other explanation for it.
But they're the same parents, though, right?
Yeah, it's just their family name changed.
Oh, okay.
From one variant of the timeline to another or something.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Beirut, Beirut and the Motorized, they, for a while they didn't have a last name, and then one of his ancestors had to choose one, because I guess at that point they started making people have like a last name or whatever.
Yeah.
And then their ancestor chose Motorized. They had like a few different choices, I guess. So I guess that sometimes.
Well, it happens. And plus, if it's a different history, you never know. Somebody could have chose a different last name or whatever. I know that the reason that her in the comics, there's a character with the last name Tomaz who is Isis, the character of Isis, the super.
I never heard of Isis.
Isis is a superhero who, in DC Comics, who they didn't use that name on the show for obvious reasons. With Isis, you know, yeah.
Especially to have someone who's Persian, and then like, you know, all these people, like, oh yeah, they're promoting, you know.
Yeah. Basically, what it is. Okay, so according to Wikipedia here, Isis is a DC Comics superhero, as well as a separate Egyptian goddess, also living in the DC universe. The superhero character is modeled closely after the main character of The Secret of Isis, a live-action American Saturday morning television program starring Joanna Cameron that served as the second half of the Shazam Isis Hour. So back in the 70s, there was a live-action show that had Shazam for the first half.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a Saturday morning show. It was a live-action show. I've seen episodes of this, and then the second part had Isis as the main character, and
nice.
but Isis was yet to be in the DC universe at that time. They ended up taking that character and added her to the DC lineup. Even she was solely created for the television show.
Nice, kind of like Spider-Woman, right?
Yeah. Yeah, or like how Harley Quinn was created for the Batman the Animated Series.
I like it when they do stuff like that. You know,
and Diggle is now like from the Arrowverse is now a character in the comic books, but he was created solely for Arrow. So yeah, but a subsequent incarnation of the character was introduced to the DC universe in 2006. As a female counterpart to the character Black Adam, as part of the Shazam family of characters. The Egyptian goddess character has been depicted within Wonder Woman comic book. So there's two Isises in the DC world. But the one that Zari is based on is from the Shazam world.
Okay.
So live action programs started to introduce characters inspired by Isis beginning in the 2000s. Smallville had depicted her, and but then she was portrayed as a Egyptologist named Adriana Tomaz, which is the character's name in the comic books. Legends of Tomorrow ended up introducing her as Zari Tomaz. In the TV show Isis, the Shazam Isis thing, her last name was Thomas. They changed it to Tomaz in the comics.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Yeah, which is like kind of like a, change of that a little bit, change of a few letters here. And so yeah, but basically they made her Zari on this show, and then they never refer to her as Isis for obvious reasons, as I'm saying. So, yeah.
They should have, just to, prove a point. We're going to name her Isis. So by the way, I think it's interesting that Isis is an actual goddess of ancient Egypt. Mm-hmm. And then there's a character who's also a goddess of ancient Egypt.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
Isis?
Oh, it's the same Isis. It's based on that Isis from Egypt. I mean, much like how Thor is based on a character from Norse mythology and whatnot in Marvel.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so,
gotcha. Okay. I was just wondering if she was just, the same god, meaning, just like how people worship Jesus in this world, they were in that character. I didn't know if it was, an actual character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how Thor is for Marvel and stuff like that. I got you. Okay, cool. You hear about the rock band Isis? They actually were thinking of changing their name, or they may have already changed their name. I don't remember. Back when Isis started getting really big, in 2014 or whatever.
Huh.
Because they had been Isis since the 90s. And they were like, yeah, we don't want to be associated with terrorists who are beheading people and filming it.
That's funny.
Yep.
Okay, so you ready for some trivia here, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Nate auditions for a role on Bud-Stuy, he asks, "Is this for the CW?" A meta reference to the show, the network that the show airs on. One of the Asgard puppets from Stargate SG-1 can be seen as Nick and Zari are investigating backstage. So that show was probably filmed up there too. One of the movie posters is for Lorem Ipsum, the infamous filler text. I guess that's like text that they, before you're going to like fill in what you actually want on a poster or something like that, you just put in Lorem Ipsum to figure out the,
Interesting.
the spacing and stuff. Yeah. Bayrod's personality changing since his favorite TV show Bud-Stuy was altered due to the arrival of the alien, who basically just took the show away from the leading actor, is similar to Raiders of the Lost Art, when Ray Palmer and Nate's career paths were drastically changed since George Lucas quit directing school and never went on to release Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark. The alien taking the place of Bayrod's favorite actor is also similar to when Helen of Troy inadvertently took Hedy Lamarr's place in a movie filmed in 1937, which gained the legend's attention of Helen Hunt. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yep, I remember those episodes.
Gained the legend's attention in Helen Hunt, not of Helen Hunt. Sorry, that was totally my boggling.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Gus resembles or was likely inspired by Bebo. It also acts and looks a lot like the baby Yoda in the Mandalorian. So
right. Yeah, right.
Lita mentions donating money to AOC's future presidential run, a reference to U.S. House of Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, also known by her initials AOC. When Zari Tomaz leaves the air totem and reunites with the legends, she notes Avalanche's engagement, nod to the ship's name between Sarah and Ava, which the ship name is like, when you put two people together, like Brangelina or, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Brangelina, yeah.
Yeah. So there's this Avalanche.
I like that.
Or Avalance, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Avalance.
Yeah. Avalance probably is how it should be pronounced. The episode's title is a play on the popular drama series This Is Us. It is revealed that the female Nekrians, like Kayla, lay their eggs in their partner's head through the ear canal during intercourse, and that Kayla did so to Mick, making him the host of her eggs. Mick ensures that his future grandchild has two loving parents, having failed partially with Lita and knowing his father, Dick Rory, failed completely with him as well. So, yeah. So that's a little bit of that's what we got for trivia here, Matt. Any other thoughts here before we wrap things up?
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So, just like with Sebastian, Bayrard can go fuck himself because they forgot his birthday, but they didn't eventually, so it was fine.
Yeah.
I would like to play a little happy birthday tune to Bayrard if he's listening.
Okay, sure.
Or if the actor is listening, perhaps. I don't know.
Go ahead.
I really like his acting, and I want to be his friend if that's possible. Anyway, so here it is. This is a happy birthday Bayrard song, I guess.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Mayrod.
That was awesome. Okay, so, folks, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please go on Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. If not, go on Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. If you were just kind of wishy-washy on it, go on Apple Podcast and give us a 5-star review.
We're 5-star men. Give us a 5-star.
It takes like 2 seconds, people. Come on, you can do it. Anyways, check out our TeePublic. Check out our Patreon. Check out all2real2.com to find all of our links and social medias and everything. We're on TikTok now. I don't know what we're doing with it yet, but we're on there. You can follow us on there. We may do some of the ticking and the talking. And, yep, along with the gramming and the twitting.
We should get a MySpace page.
Yes. Good times, good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to do on there yet, but we got one specifically for the podcast. The other, our Twitter and our Instagram and stuff are for Cullen Park Productions, which covers the podcast and all of our other projects with Cullen Park. Anyways, yeah. Everybody go out and tick and talk.
Ticking and talking.
And message me at mike@cullenpark.com so I can figure out what the hell you do with TikTok. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Okay.
You make short videos, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do some behind-the-scenes stuff or something once Matt's back in the studio or something. I don't know what we'll do. We'll figure something out, folks. And, you know, if you want Matt and I to, like, lip-sync to some song by Olivia Rodrigo or something, we'll do that. I don't know what we're going to do. You know, I'm just saying, whatever. I don't know what the kids are into these days. So just let us know, folks. And, you know, until next time, folks, be kind to each other. Wear sunscreen and wear a condom. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.